G'day, how's it going everyone? Welcome to the YouTube channel, dragons_FC_. Today we're just going to be talking about the custom tactics that got me elite last week, and currently, as you see on the screen, 14-2 as of right now. So as we look at the squad, it is an outrageous squad, about 4.5 mil at times, but the real stuff comes from the custom tactics. So I do want to let you guys know that balanced, you kind of just want to make it as defensive as possible, because it's the start of the game and you don't want to be conceding straight off the bat if you forget to change your formation. But first, we're going to start with ultra defensive, right? If you're up and you need to, keep the ball, or if you're getting team pressed and you need to keep the ball, and I'm not getting the options, this is what I do, right? So I run drop back with 3 width and 1 depth. This just helps me defensively. After that, I go long ball with the width for my offensive style. This just creates the possibilities to move it out to both wings if I get stuck. And obviously with team press, some of their fullbacks or centre backs might be out of place, so this is a good option. 3 players in the box. I don't really want to be pushing up that much. Formation I said is a 4-2-3-1 second variation, so the wider, more defensive variation. All I do is stay forward on my striker, and then I have come back on defense, stay on the edge of the box for cross on my cam. Both my wingers are on come back on defense, stay wide, get in behind. I have both my CDMs on stay back while attacking while covering center, and my fullbacks on stay back while attacking while overlapping. And that's my ultra defensive tactic. Next is the formation that I go to as soon as I go into a game, right? So I run this from the start, and if I'm going good with it, I'll stick with it for the whole game. So I use the balanced 3 width, 1 depth for defensive tactics, and the offense I go a balanced 5 and 5 for players in the box and width. I play the 4-2-3-1 as shown on the screen. So I use stay central, getting behind, stay forward on my striker, with come back on defense, and that's it for my cam, right? Come back on defense, get into the box for cross for the wingers. That get into the box for my wingers is very important. The amount of times you can get pace on one side of the wing, and the other winger will just absolutely sprint forward into that box as quick as he can, right? And obviously with come back on defense, they're helping out. They might not come back all the way, but at least they're helping, right? Obviously stay back while attacking, overlap. You don't have to have the overlap on, it's just I'd rather them make an overlapping run instead of inverted, so I make sure it's set as that. For my centre mids, I always have Wijnaldum as my more attacking box-to-box midfielder, so I've got him on just balanced except for cover centre. Kante on the other hand is stay back while attacking and cover centre, and that is my starter formation. If I'm feeling like I need more goals, or if I feel like I'm not creating chances, I'll move over to a 4-4-2. These are the tactics I use. I use the balanced 4 width, 3 depth, and balanced offensive with 7 width again for them wingers. 5 players in the box is normal, I guess. Play the team pretty much the same. I have my players on the opposite side to cut in. This might be a problem at some points. I've just noticed that if you're kicking back, they use their stronger foot. But obviously with crosses, you probably want them having them on their weak, strong foot. So you could always do that and change them around. But anyway, I do stay central, getting behind and stay forward on both my attackers. On my wide men, I use stay wide, get in behind and get into the box for cross. Obviously it's the same pretty much. I used a cover centre on Wijnaldum. He does tend to get up there and score a lot of goals, and he also does tend to push back, so a high is definitely what you want in this role. Over here you probably want a medium high, right? stay back while attacking, and cover center. And then fullbacks are the same again, stay back while attacking and overlap. And this, boys, if you're going to copy any of these formations, copy this, right? Constant pressure, 6 width, 10 depth, right? Fast build-up play. You got 6 width on the offense, and you've got 8 players in the box. If you're down around 60 to 70 minutes, that's at least when I use it, right? And you want to get a few goals back, this will easily get you 3 or 4 goals in the last 30 minutes, right? This is the amount of the amount of comebacks that I get from using this formation is outrageous. If you guys join the Twitch stream at dragons_fc_, you will see that during weekend league or even div rivals, if I want to use it, this is an OP strategy, right? Just a basic 4-4-2, same players in the same place. Same thing as my attacking formation for my strikers, which is stay central, game behind, stay forward. The changes are though, I want stay forward and I want the wingers to cut inside, right? But I also want them to get in behind and get into the box for cross, which is the same for both. For both of my DMs, I have get forward and cover center. The more attacking one is get into the box for cross, and the more defensive one is stay on the edge, right? And then I have my fullbacks, right? This is important, right? Because you have 2 sets of wingers now. So if your fullbacks go to your, say your fullbacks go to your wingers, right? Your right and left wing, or mid, or whatever. You've also got your fullbacks, which also push up to that same height, except they're more wide, while your wingers are more central because they're cutting inside. So I find that this is very good to open up a defense. But yeah, all you want to do is you want to collect the ball, try not get them past halfway, and then from there you just do an R1 pass, which is a strong pass directly to either your striker or your winger, because you won't really have center mids using this formation. You'll have those 6 up front, and as they're going up front, you'll have your wing backs also going up, right? I have not used attacking fullbacks like the in-game custom tactic, right? Using the D-pad, I've not used that. But the team press, I have a feeling that you can use it about 3 times per game, really. So you could honestly use it at the very start of the game, put him under a heap of pressure. I tend to use it for goal kicks, or when I feel that the guy I'm versing is under a lot of pressure, right? Okay, now from that we also want to look at our camera and game settings. So let's head over to the main menus. Okay, so for game settings, this is what I used. I do have time finishing on, which I'm going to take off because sometimes it really does annoy me because I don't use time finishing, right? Next player switch indicator is something you do want, because you want to know where your next R1 switch change is going to be. Pass block assistance on, why would you want to have it off? Auto switching, I have it on air balls and loose balls. I know some people have it on auto, but just keep it default, right? Auto switch move assistance, so you don't really want to have any auto move assistance if you're a high-end player, I feel. So what this does is, as you're switching to a new player, if you have none, then you're able to control the player as soon as possible. If you choose it to low, you have about 1 or 2 seconds, right? You have 1 or 2 seconds where it will move in the same direction as the player was running originally. So say we were all going up as a defense, and I move to my center back, he'll start moving up for about 1 or 2 seconds before I start moving him back down. I keep jockeying on manual so that I don't have any assistance with jockeying for obvious reasons, like skill moves. I feel like the assisted one really dives into those skill moves, and I don't like that at all. So I like to have a manual feel on it. Auto flare pass, I turn this off because sometimes it just really dumb passes get made. Auto clearances, you want that on. Auto shots, you want that on. I mean, they speak for themselves, right? This player lock system, I haven't used it properly at least. But all you have to do is tap both analog sticks, and it stays on a certain player while your team begins to act like a CPU. And you can call for the ball or try call for a cross, which is pretty cool in my opinion. But anyway, contextual agile dribbling, turn that off, right? If you're just dribbling using the left stick analog, sometimes it'll start going into the agile dribbling, which is the R1. If you hold R1 and dribble, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. But obviously this can stuff you up in a few situations, so you want to turn that off. Assisted headers, you probably want that on because they're pretty manual this year. Right stick switching, I have this on ball relative because play relative, say the ball is on your right back side and you're defending him and you see that the back post is open, right? I can use this to go directly to my left back instead of having to go between my right back to centre back to centre back to left back. Assisted ground pass, right? You don't want this on semi or the through ball on semi. I've tried it, it really doesn't help. Just keep these on assisted. Same shot. Cross though, this is a huge one. Use this with the R1 cross, right? It's a direct cross, very powerful, honestly. Very overpowered this year. Even if your man is behind the defender, this tends to work still. So try it. It can be really good for you. Just have all of this stuff on assisted analog sprint. This determines how much sprint you use depending on how far you push down this R2 button, right? So if you have it off, no matter how hugely you tap on it, right, it'll just sprint it at max pace. If you have it on, it'll determine how much sprinting they're doing, as in how fast they're moving, by how far you put this down. So you want to have that off. Tactical defending, this automatically puts you in tactical defending for weekend league, so you may as well keep this the same. I have my pass receiver lock on late, and this is so that, because obviously players tend to read you somewhat easily on this game, right? And if they read you, you want to try and move your pass direction to another player instead of the player that they're cutting off, right? So if you have this on late, you can make late switches, obviously. In terms of game settings, my camera, I play on a co-op camera. I find that some people do, some people don't. I definitely like the co-op camera because I get a huge, more wide view, right? I get to see the whole pitch pretty much. People like this on, I think it's Tele broadcast. Let me see. It's either Tele or Tele broadcast. So I think that if you're like a skiller or something, you probably want to be on Tele or Tele broadcast, right? Because that lets you see how close you are to the player, and the closer you are to the player, obviously you probably want to do a skill move or something, right? But if you're just someone who's trying to pass or someone who's trying to do lob balls all the time, I reckon co-op might be the way, honestly. I don't have any custom camera settings. Anyway, we go to visuals. So visuals, I use a player name and indicator. I don't really care about the opposition's username. I don't, as you can see, I'm 14-2, so I'm not coming against any top 100 players, right? So I just want to know who I'm using, because obviously sometimes it's hard to determine who you're using. Normally you would tell by the boots or maybe a person's like build on the game, but this player name and indicator really helps. This indicator size, you could have this on large, you could have this on small. I just think default's okay. Player indicator fade, it just looks better, right? So you probably want to have your radar on 2D as well, so it doesn't take up as much of the pitch. The online ID, so you probably want that to fade as well. I turn off my score clock, drop it down, right? This just helps me see more of the game. I don't want to have anything like blocking where I'm looking. Sometimes you know how someone pauses? That can be really annoying at the start of the game, because it just annoys you if you go down that wing that's at the top of the screen, right? I also turn off them scrolling lineups, because that does the same thing but on the bottom, right? But other than that, that is all I use as my game settings and custom tactics. So I hope you guys enjoyed. This has been Dylan from Dragons FC, and I hope you guys enjoyed, right? So if you want, you can watch some of my weekend league gameplay, as it has been extended this week. I'm going to be playing Monday at 6 p.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time until about 9:30. So I'll get about 10 games done, which is tonight actually. So if you guys want to join, feel free. My Twitch is in the YouTube channel, and it is also Dragons_FC_. But anyway, boys, I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.